It was a great game of cricket. It was a great wicket, and you were never in on that wicket. There was always a ball in it. The odd one bounced, as I say, but the odd one kept low. If you didn't get it right with the ball, you'd cost your team. So it had everything in it. And it's obviously a good wicket if it takes a game that deep. So it was a great advert for the game. And as I say, somebody's got to lose in those games, and that's a shame. Because as I say, I'm a big fan of Pete Moores, big fan of Kevin Shine, and a big fan of a lot of those people in that Nottinghamshire dressing room. So I feel for them because they played their part in it. What should have been what was an outstanding game.
You mentioned the Notts dressing room there, but what was it like in our own dressing room there? Were there people refusing to move positions? Were there superstitions creeping in? What was it like there?
Yeah, you had all that, didn't you? You had the captain and pre-tea lapping the ground with three others because we're doing quite well. There was about four of us with Sibs in a corner watching out of a window, and different people, different places, and all celebrating in probably three different parts of the ground. That's one thing about COVID. You're not quite as close and as tight as you'd like to be. So there was sort of people celebrating different parts, but then coming together at the end, obviously, to celebrate what was a famous victory.
Looking through sort of day, session by session, I mean, it couldn't have really started any stronger, could it, really, with no wickets lost and Hayne going strong with Lamb?
No, they played really well, didn't they? You know how important that first half hour was. You know, Broad's going to come hard, which he did do. And then, you know, I was on the boundary edge and you could hear Mulaney talking to him. They decide to go, obviously, with the leg side theory a little bit, don't they, at both batters, which Haney caught most of. Took a couple of really heavy blows, one to the head, one to the body, but stuck it out. And as you say, riveting cricket that was for that last half hour. As I say, it's one of England's finest. As I say, on a wicket that had this up and down bounce on it, made it very hard to get underneath the ball. And it was compelling stuff. And you're very, very proud of your players when they come through a period like that.
There was 149 runs still required when Ollie Stone joined Brez in the middle, and they were together in quick succession. I mean, how were thoughts? I mean, incredible innings from Ollie as well as Brez, really. For Ollie, it was a career best with the Bears as well in first-class cricket.
Yeah, look, you talk about what you're trying to do. I mean, all we've talked about is trying to break the chase down, really, to little chunks. And Brezzy spoke brilliantly, as I said this morning, to the players, to the boys, about what our targets are. And, you know, it was a case of just continuing, isn't it? Trying to get another batter in. Can you get Ollie in? Can you start to get a partnership? Just take that game deep as you can, and then you know that they'll get twitchy and things can happen. And that's all we tried to do. Keep breaking it down and try and be calm, have a calmness around the dressing room as well.
Big question we had was, would Dom have batted? I know there was a lot of questions going through about that from the blow he suffered. So was he there available to bat?
Ollie was, Sibs was desperate to bat. I said to him, look, if it gets to about 50 and time and everything else, look, we'll think about it. So he'd got himself with some drugs in him. He'd got some extra padding on his glove and everything, some painkillers, etc. And he was ready to go. So from about 50 onwards, he was going to go in next. Luckily for him, he wasn't needed. He said he'd never been that nervous in his life. He's not used to sitting around waiting for the prospect of going in with the chance of winning the game for his club.
And a very memorable victory, but it's very much on to the next game against Essex, the champions now. What's selection looking like for this game? And Norwell side bottom potentially in contention for a place?
Well, Liam obviously missed out in this game because of his sore heel. We'll have to see how that is. Obviously, there's no Sibs. Milo will come back into contention. We've got to decide on the balance of the team again. You know, we went with an extra batter to what we did in the first game. So we've got to decide: do we keep the same balance and bring a batter in? Do we put an extra seamer in like we had in the game against Derby? We'll need to look at the wicket and make all those decisions as we get closer to the match.